Good evening, everyone. And it's Katie King here. And sorry, I'm a little bit sweaty. I'm just a little bit hot. I'm just a bit hot this evening. It's very warm, but how's everyone? If anyone from Chicken Shed is watching my video, hi, good evening. And if any staff and if any member of staff is watching, I actually got a really amazing idea what we could do of what the FD2s could do for our final show, or maybe we could all do as a company. Yeah, we could all. Maybe we could do like a show about the evolution of Disney movies from his humble beginnings all the way up to the present day. And it could be I basically just talked about this, and somebody could say, and basically it could start off with the prologue, Walt's beginning. It all began with a man. It all began with a mouse, and it could gloss over the Walt Disney's humble beginnings with him basically doing laugh-o-gram cartoons in the early 1920s. He could basically, and then there would be, and it could gloss over him making the Alice comedies, which featured a live action little girl in a cartoon world, and then it could basically gloss over him starting his own animation studios with his brother Roy, and then it would basically discuss the history of the of his deal with Universal Studios and the creation of Osborne the Lucky Rabbit, and how it got taken away from him. But it would also include the creation of Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, and also gloss over the Silly Symphony cartoons. That will be the end of the prologue, and part one would basically be the legacy would basically be called the Golden Age of Disney. And somebody would come on as Snow White to sing someday my prince will come. And then to represent Pinocchio, somebody could sing as the Blue Fairy. In Jiminy Cricket, they could sing When You Wish Upon a Star. And for Fantasia, there is actually a little mega mix of three pieces of music from the animated film, and they could maybe do a creative dance number to that. I think that would be amazing. It only goes on for just 4 minutes, for less than 5 minutes. So yeah. And then there would be obviously Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney would be the narrator, and they could briefly gloss over Dumbo and Bambi, and then it would start part 2, the wartime era. But they'll basically represent, they'll only represent two Disney movies, Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros. Somebody could basically play Donald Duck as he basically dances with some very hot Mexican and Brazilian women, because that's actually what happens in the Three Caballeros, really. But it's a really fun movie. And then it could basically briefly gloss over the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, but only very briefly. And then part 3 would basically be the Silver Age. And I'm thinking maybe for Cinderella, it would basically be about the the love duet. So This Is Love, and that somebody could play Cinderella and the prince. They could sing the romantic duet. As basically people dressed in elegant ball gowns could basically waltz around the stage, but they have to be very careful for one another, obviously. And yep, that's how Cinderella will be represented. And as for Alice in Wonderland, I'm thinking maybe it should be represented by maybe somebody singing Alice from Alice in Wonderland, I think. Well, Avril Lavigne actually did the a pop version of that song, so I think it should be sung there. Or maybe there could be a very small scene, the Mad Hatter's tea party. Make a little bit of room for acting, just in case somebody doesn't want to do any singing or dancing. So yeah. And to represent Peter Pan, somebody could play Peter and Wendy, and they could probably sing Second Star to the Right together. Wendy could sing the first bit of it, and then Peter could sing the next part of it, and they could swap between the two, and they could swap between sing a tiny bit of it, and then the final bit of the song they could basically sing it together. And obviously there'll be flying involved. And to represent Sleeping Beauty, going to miss out on Lady and the Tramp, but to represent Sleeping Beauty, there would basically be somebody would basically play Princess Aurora and Prince Philip, and they would basically dance along to the waltz from Sleeping Beauty and sing Once Upon a Dream. That's basically the end, the finale of the animated film. Get the soundtrack of that. And Mickey and Walt are basically going to briefly mention. Cruella. Are basically going to briefly mention 101 Dalmatians, also The Sword and the Stone, and I'm thinking maybe, and then I'm thinking maybe thinking of mentioning Mary Poppins by basically having a big ensemble number, basically performing Step in Time, and scene where, and then it will basically go into the Jungle Book, and everyone would basically, and a few selected people would basically be monkeys and perform King of the Swingers as somebody plays King Louis. And to end Act 1, some four people basically could come out and say the and basically say the lines from the animated film before they actually discover that Baloo is dead. And the music from George Burns could basically, after that scene, a single spotlight could be the stage could go dark just a little bit, and somebody who is playing Walt Disney could start coughing and vomiting because unfortunately he actually died of lung cancer. He could fall to the ground, and Mickey would hold his hand, and Walt will say his farewell. A single spotlight would basically shine on him as he dies. The guy who's playing Mickey could weep over his death, his body, and he would. And as Act 1 ends, the single limelight would basically fade out, and that will be the end of Act 1. 20 minutes later, 25 minutes later, or 20 minutes later, there would be somebody who's playing Mickey would basically come up on stage and say need to carry on his legacy. Then he would basically briefly gloss over, and the second part will be, and the next part will basically be called the Bronze Age. Mickey would basically talk about Robin Hood, and then there would be a bit of a dance number dancing to represent the Heffalumps and Woozles from Winnie the Pooh, from the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And then Mickey would basically talk very briefly. The Fox and the Hound was the very first Disney movie that was actually done by the new younger generation and the younger members of the company, who takes over the old one, the 9 old men. And then he would also mention how the Black Cauldron is basically the most darkest moment in the Disney company, and briefly talk over the Great Mouse Detective. And to represent the Little Mermaid, it would actually be a bit of a mashup of all their best songs from the animated film. Somebody would sing Part of Your World as Ariel. Well, only the first verse and the first chorus. Somebody could sing some, and then somebody who's playing Sebastian could basically sing the first verse and chorus of Under the Sea. And somebody who's playing Ursula, somebody could play Ursula and sing the first verse and chorus of Poor Unfortunate Souls. And the last one would, and then there would also, and then everyone will come on stage to perform. A selected few would basically come on and perform Kiss the Girl, and that will be finished. That section will be finished. As for it would also, before the Little Mermaid section, it would basically say the Renaissance. Then it will go to Beauty and the Beast, Taylor's Oldest Time will be performed. Somebody to play Belle and the Beast could basically dance to the, could basically waltz to it. As somebody playing Mrs. Potts could sing it. And as for Aladdin, Friend Like Me could basically be performed. Somebody could play the genie, and he would have a few backup dancers. And also to represent Hunchback of Notre Dame, either somebody sings out there, somebody could sing, or God Help the Outcasts, or Hellfire, Either one of those songs. And to represent also I Can't Wait to Be King, I think maybe it could be represented by Be Prepared by a Villain song. And then also Mickey would also gloss over and then maybe four women, 4 girls could basically be the 4 muses from Hercules and sing Zero to Hero. And to end the 90s, and to basically end the 90s and the Renaissance, there would be a big finale for Son of Man from Tarzan to be performed. It could both be a dance number and also a song, and also song number as well. Yeah. And then another title card would basically be the experimental period. And just like the first Fantasia film, somebody could basically perform. There could be a mashup of the of 3 different bits of music from the animated sequel, and there could be a big dance number to represent that. Then somebody could basically sing a little bit of Your Heart Will Lead You Home from the Tigger movie. Then to represent Atlantis the Lost Empire, I was thinking maybe an aerial dance could basically be represented, because there's a scene where Kita actually transforms into the crystal. She's actually chosen by the heart of Atlantis. Well, I'm thinking maybe the soundtrack could basically do that. Do that, and maybe somebody could pretend to be Kita and perform amazing acrobatics, and obviously it would have to be someone very, very skilled. And to represent Lilo and Stitch, there will be a big dance and song number to represent the song singing the song Burning Love. It will gloss over most of the 2000s. And somebody would basically, and to represent the Princess and the Frog, to end that era, it would basically be the somebody could basically sing Almost There. Somebody could be Tiana. Well, obviously someone who's black. Yeah, because Tiana is a black princess, and one of the very first as well. And then there will be another title card, another blackout, and the title card will basically do the revival. Somebody, and basically it could be Tangled could be represented with somebody playing Rapunzel and Eugene, and they could sing I see the light, or somebody as Rapunzel could basically sing could basically sing Something That I Want, which is basically the pop song, basically, you know, presented, basically played over the end credits. I really love that song. And then to personally represent Brave, there could be somebody could sing Touch the Sky from the Pixar and Disney film. And to represent Wreck-It Ralph, I'm thinking maybe we should mention Wreck-It Ralph, and we could mention a big song and dance 80s inspired dance number to the song When Can I See You Again by Owl City. Love that song. And then somebody could basically come on, and to represent Frozen, somebody could basically play Elsa and maybe sing the Idina Menzel version or the pop version of Let It Go. That is, if anyone wants to do it. Then we would skip forward. Then we would skip forward to 2016, and we could do the and we could maybe, and Moana could be, somebody could basically be Moana and probably sing How Far I'll Go. Or maybe somebody could be Tomatua, and he or she could probably sing Shiny. And then also to represent Frozen 2, the same woman who basically played, the same girl and woman who would play Elsa would basically come on again. No. It will be somebody. It'll be someone different. Give somebody else a moment to shine. They would basically sing, either show yourself into the unknown, or the pop version of Into the Unknown by Panic at the Disco. And then I'm thinking maybe we should represent Encanto as the the song that they play where the before Antonio is actually about to got his gift for his ability to understand animals. Well, we could basically have a big party scene to the song that plays before that scene. Oh my god, I really love that song. I'm thinking maybe everyone should join on stage for that, and everyone could basically wear Colombian inspired outfits, and maybe a few could basically represent the members of the family in that number. I think it would be brilliant. Everyone would love that. And then two people, and then two dudes would basically go on stage to sing Chippendale Rescue Rangers by Post Malone. Yep, because Chippendale actually got their own movie. Pretty amazing. And then somebody could, and then to end the show, we'll basically have somebody to play the Ghost of Walt Disney, and the same guy who plays Mickey. They could basically have a very sweet, tender moment together. Walt could thank Mickey for carrying on his legacy and showing and basically telling him that he's made loads of people happy, and they could both embrace. And the finale number would basically be And the finale number would be a reprise of When You Wish Upon a Star. And each era could basically sing just one line and one small section of When You Wish Upon a Star. First, Walt and Mickey could sing When You Wish Upon a Star, and then Snow White and then the Golden Age eras could sing Makes no difference who you are. The guys who basically represent the wartime era. Anything your heart desires will come to you. And then the guys from the Silver Age could basically sing, if your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. And then the guys from the Bronze era could basically sing, when you wish upon a star as dreamers do. The guys from the Renaissance could sing, fate is kind, fate is kind, she bring to those who love. And then the guys from the experimental era could sing that sweet fulfillment of that secret longing. And then the revival period could sing, and then the guys from the revival period could sing, like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. Mickey and Walt could sing When You Wish Upon a Star, and everyone would sing Your Dreams Come True together. And then somebody extra would basically step forward. And then as they basically take their bows, another song would basically struck up. It would be the encore. It would actually be the song for the 30th anniversary of Disneyland Paris, and each section and each era and each group of characters will basically come on stage, do a little bit each, basically do a little bit of each, do a bit of dancing together. Somebody would sing, somebody would basically sing the entire song. Well, they'll sing parts of the sections. First, the sidekicks will basically take their bows and do their own dance first. Look to the sky, hope is all around, and we can see how it glows. Let's reminisce how we come so far and see how far we can go. We're gonna dream a little bigger, laugh a little harder, sing a little louder now. We're gonna dance a little bolder, love a little better. Take my hand, I'll show you how. The future holds so much more than we ever did before. There's something so magical, shining from a dream. In what cool see Lemmy. And then they would dance, and the next, and the villains will basically come on and dance, and then the Disney villains would come and dance along to that little section. Go make a wish if you see a star, and we can see how it goes. Let's reminisce how we come so far, and we can and see how far we can go. And then the heroes will basically come on stage. Come on stage. At that point, do some dancing and singing. We're going to dream a little bigger, dance and love a little better. Take my hand, I'll show you how. We're going to love a little better, sing a little louder now. The future holds so much more than we ever did before. There's something so magical, shining from a dream, Umulki Sila Me. They would basically dance and sing together. And then the princesses would basically, and then the princesses would basically come on stage, do a bit of singing, dancing, and as it comes into the very final verse, everyone will join on stage together, as well as Walt and Mickey. The song would end, and everyone would take their final bows together, and the curtain and the show will end. And the show would end. And I'm thinking, as for the exit music, as people basically go off stage, and as the audience basically files out, I'm thinking maybe the Fantalusion theme could basically play. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Yeah. So, what do you guys think? I would very much love to do a show like that, because I absolutely adore Disney. Obviously, it might go on for quite some time. It could go on for maybe about 2.5 hours. Might not be able to fit in that much, but I do hope you would very much like this idea, and let's hope we can develop it and turn it into a show, and we could basically run it, because I would really love to do something. I'd love to basically take part in. I would basically love to take part in something Disney related, as it's my very final and last year at Chickenshed. I would love to end it with a bang. We can maybe do it as an end of year show, or maybe do it as a spring show, maybe, or maybe as a summer, or maybe as a combined summer show together, maybe. You never know. Maybe. Either way, it would definitely be a very magical experience, and it would give everyone, and it would basically give us, and I'm sure everyone would love. I'm sure everyone would love to take part in it. Because who does not love Disney? Who does not love Disney? Disney's the best. Okay, that's my pitch. Hope you really like this video, and don't forget to leave a like, give this a good thumbs up, leave a comment down in the comment section down below, and if any staff from Chickenshed is basically watching this video, I would want to do. I hope this pitch was good, and I hope we can make it happen this year. I hope we can make it happen for next year. I want to do something Disney related. Okay. Bye. Bippity, bobbity, boo.